I am here. We're on Rift, and we're going to be looking at dimensions, and we're going to be taking questions. And for those of you who don't know, dimensions are the building system in Rift, and it's amazing. My guest tonight is Blythe, who's an amazing dimension builder. And we're going to go to one of her dimensions first. Blythe, have you ever, I don't know how many games you've played, how many MMOs.
A lot of games.
Have you ever found a better system for building?
Absolutely not. I love how I don't even mind if it's a simple housing system like Lord of the Rings Online has one of the most basic housing systems, but I still like owning a house, you know, and you have your little hooks you can place things on. It's very limited, but no, nothing compares to the building in Rift. Nothing. It's fairly daunting when you first start. It's because if you've played other games like I have where they have housing systems and everything is prefabricated, and it comes down to just, you know, decorating. It's like, here's a flower pot, where would you like to put it? Or here's a bench, where would you like to put it? That kind of thing. Rift blows that out of the water. I mean, it's hard to even compare, to be honest. It's crazy here. But it's crazy awesome, is what it is.
Let me start by showing the dimension interface, just how you travel to the dimensions. You can open up, you can see there's a list here for your own dimensions, and then your alts, your friends, your guild mates, and then they have a public weekly list. And that's a pretty cool thing, because what that is when you go into a dimension, you can give it a vote, a +1. And for the week, they rank the dimensions in order of who's gotten the most +1. So that if you want to look at new dimensions and you think, well, what dimensions are people visiting and liking, you can go to this weekly list, and it refreshes every week.
Exactly. It's the best way, honestly, to find new works to look at.
It's also the public all-time list, and that just ranks dimensions in order of total overall +1s. And then of course you have your search field. So here you can see on my screen I went to the search and put Margaritaville into the field, and it came up with Blythe's dimension here. She has 187 +1s, which is not shabby at all. I mean, that's a lot of +1s. And she's built it on a shoreward island, so we're gonna go there.
Yeah. And one thing to note about searching, a lot of people that build on alts, because you only have so many keys you can build, you know, with a certain tune or whatever. So people build on alts. So what they will do is, if they've built something else with an alt, they'll put in parentheses, like I would put parentheses Blythe, because Blythe is my main character. So if you like somebody's work, but you can't find other dimensions, do search on their name, because you might find other things that they've done, but it just happens to be under an alt's name.
Oh, and that reminds me. Thank you for reminding me, Blythe. Another thing people do is if they build a dimension that they want for roleplay, they'll put RP in the title.
Yes.
And that means that they've built it and they want people to come and utilize it for roleplay, and it's open and it's set to public. I mean, there's probably a lot more dimensions than are even on the list, because you can set your dimension to private where people can't go in there.
Yes. Yep.
But if there's, here, I'll show you how many RP dimensions
Look
there
at your
are.
pretty pink outfit as you're talking. I'm just like admiring your outfit. Blythe is in her little dress and bare feet as usual.
So here you can see all of these titles have RP in them, either in the end or in the beginning, to indicate that they're made for roleplay and that they're open for people to come and use anytime they want, which is so generous. I love that. Look, the list just goes on and on and on.
But I've offered to people to change, because you can change like the time of day. You can make from day to night, or you can, I know that I changed one of my dimensions months ago to do a Christmas party, you know, and I put special things in there. You can take requests to sort of change your dimensions to fit an RP event of some sort, which is super fun.
Well, you
so
can Yeah.
with RP. Ask them.
You can even, in the middle of an event, change things.
Yes.
I've seen...
I swear. I am determined. I bartended an event with our guild in this stim not too long ago. I had no idea what I was doing, but whatever. I figured it out. And I was like, you know what? If I knew I was going to do this, I could have removed enough items to have a little bit of play, and I would have actually served drinks on the bar and actually been able to place them there, which would have been super fun. Of course, only the owner can do that, but
I know Shri and Iktina at the Rest Again, they do that. You order dinner, you order drinks, they will put plates and cups down in front of you.
So cool. So cool.
So here you built a little bathroom. That's adorable.
Yeah, which was closed off because I ran out of item pieces.
Oh, well.
It's true.
The bathrooms are always the last thing.
Yeah,
so.
well, for this place, it was the last. You know, everybody, if they're really at a beach bar, they're probably just like, you know, hanging off the side of the dock and doing what they need to do. So, whatever. Anyway.
So, this, I have to say, this dimension, Shoreward Island, it's one of the oldest dimensions available, but it's actually still one of my favorites. I love this dimension with the water.
It's amazing. I think it has, if I remember correctly, it has the farthest draw distance of any of the dimensions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's something about it you can see way out. So you can actually place, like I was placing ships way out to make it, you know, sort of appear that they were coming in, you know, because everybody wants to come to a little beach bar or whatever.
Is that Knight Zimi?
Where is Knight? Is he here?
Sitting by the pool.
Oh, is he in the chair?
I don't have my UI on, but it looks like him.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about this swimming pool. Because when you built this, water items were not available. Water building blocks?
No.
So you built this out over the water, and then you cut this out of the top, and you're just using the existing water that's already in the dimension, right?
Correct. Which is, a lot of people do that there are there's water blocks, there are ponds, there are all sorts of little handfuls of water you can place in dimensions. But anytime you can use the natural water source in a dimension, like this is, you know, right off the coast, or, like Moonshade, Highlands is a popular one for the water there. And you can close it off. It gives the appearance of, I mean, I don't know. Do you want me to show you? I'm going to drop the floor out and show you what it looks like.
Oh, sure. Let's look down here. So you can see the bottom.
The tile is gone. You can see the bottom. So if I tore this entire bar apart, this would be just sandy, whatever. So yeah, so I carved out the spot that I wanted and built a pool. So there, we put it back. So now, like, the tile is there, so now it just looks like a pool.
What kind of add-ons do you use, Blythe? And what are available?
Tinker tools. And here, I'm going to go off on I'm going to step up on a little soapbox for a sec. Just 1 second, and just say, the Tinker Tools add-on, many people say that you're cheating if you use it. It's not cheating. Tinker Tools is an add-on that allows you to, well, like if you work with the XYZ axis within the dimension to swirl things to the side or flip them upside down or rotate them or whatever, you can do it and you can eyeball it. Tinker Tools, the only thing that it really allows you to do is to give it an exact turn. So if I want to turn something to a 90-degree angle, eyeballing it, I might get it to like 89.649 whatever percent. But in Tinker Tools, I can plug in the value 90 and it will turn it to a 90-degree angle. Then I can, if I want to make more than one of those things, I can copy and paste it and just move it along, and I can have, a bunch of things or, line up exactly how I want them. So there is no cheating. You still have to figure out what you want to do. You still have to figure out what you want it to look like. And Tinker Tools is just a really, really nice tool to let you, I don't know, just even things out and take some of the grunt work out of moving. Like all the deck boards in this bar, these are just floorboards. This is nothing more than a whole bunch of building blocks laid out, and I copied and pasted and sent them along, and you know,
right.
But it was still my design. It was
Absolutely.
still my thought process and all that stuff. So Tinker Tools all the way. Lynx 3D is the character's name on the forums. He is fantastic. He is super helpful. He's the creator of Tinker Tools, and I love him to death. Go into an empty dimension, throw a bunch of stuff on the ground, and just start messing around with it, and you'll figure it out. It's so worth it. Totally worth it.
So tell me, how hard was it to make that parrot?
To make what?
The parrot.
Well, he was only hard because his beak is made out of cheese. There was
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I see it.
At the time that I made him, there were very few curved colored pieces, and I didn't really care because Margaritaville was supposed to be a little bit like, I don't know, rustic and tacky, and I don't know. It wasn't supposed to look super polished, so I didn't care that there were some like seams and things popping out and whatever, because it was sort of the flavor of the whole place, given, you know, the neon palm trees and, you know, super high class of the joint. But
well, come here, let me take your picture in the shark. Get behind that shark.
Oh, let me get your picture. So the shark, do you know Jimmy Buffett songs? Do you know Jimmy Buffett?
Heck yeah.
So what is it? Which is the one he sings about the shark bait? He's like, you're the only bait in town.
Right.
I was coming.
No, I totally know that song.
That's where the shark bait comes from.
It's awesome.
I have a collection of pictures of people standing back here.
And then you made a stage with different.
Yeah.
Different.
I had some help from somebody who actually used to set up small stages, because I was like, those aren't the kind of speakers, and they said, yes, they are. When you're on a little beach stage and it's like people that like play out of their suitcases, this is what it looks like.
Oh, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then you have tables, and everything here you set down and designed yourself. Like all of these bottles here, you put every single bottle down. Not only did you put every single bottle down, but you put straws and corks and things like this, because you're out of your mind, is what I think. Because I'm like, it's enough to put a bottle.
Are we going to talk about morphing?
Absolutely. Do you have something in here that you want to show me?
I'm going to show you something super, super simple.
Morphing is when you can take dimension items that are offered and use them and put them together and make them into something different. Because this isn't like, you don't just get building blocks and start from scratch. They offer you really cool things, but people make other things out of them. Like a map table is often used, like turned a different way to make a stove. Things like that.
Yes.
Or no, a globe. It's the globe item. Turn that upside down. It makes a nice stove top.
Yeah, you learn to pick any item up, shrink it, enlarge it, turn it around 360, 180, up. I mean, you turn it in every direction. You go, oh, look at that curve, or look at that surface, or look at whatever.
360 isn't
and you're
gonna
like,
get you
that
very
looks
far.
like what? I'm going over to poke you in a second.
Sorry, I couldn't let it go. I know you tried to gloss over it when you said it. You're like, oh crap.
I totally did it. You totally busted me.
I couldn't help it. Okay, so show us your morph. Show us your morph.
Okay, so do you see this coaster behind the little, my little register here, my little cash register? Do you see it? There's a little coaster on the counter, right?
Yep, I see it.
Yeah.
And that's a basket, right?
Look this. Look. Can you see it now?
Yep.
It's a basket.
Yeah.
See? So it's like, that is the most simple example I could possibly show you. Oh, actually, no, I can show you the bowl next to it. I forgot to copy that one to paste it back.
Oh my gosh, there's Knight again. He's lurking around.
He's
Knight,
creepy.
You scared
He'll
me.
be everywhere. Okay, so the little bowl holding those are actually mini mushrooms in there that are supposed to look like popcorn. Oops. There, that's actually a carnival lantern. Do you see that?
Oh, that's awesome.
So those are like just super simple examples. When people talk about morph, it's nothing complicated. Now they would call like the parrot a morph because it's actually a bunch of just building blocks pieced it together to look like something else. It's any time you take anything and make it into something else. That's it. It's pretty simple. It's simple in concept, but you have to play with it to, I don't know, come up with stuff. Yeah, the cheeseburgers back there are actually cubes of yellow sunken down, and oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
before we leave this dimension, I really want to. I love this kitchen. It's got a deep fryer. I love the deep fryer. That's my favorite. Tell me how you made the deep fryer.
I have had more people ask me about it, and I thought it was super simple. So the deep fryer is... Wait, do you want me to take it apart and show you?
You don't have to.
If I do this, then I'm gonna have to close Margaritaville because I'm gonna have to come back and like fix it. Wait,
Yeah, don't take it. You don't have to take it apart. But I know you've got like fish traps in there, right?
The fish traps were so here's the funny thing. They were supposed to look like the top of fryer baskets, like just popping out. But I had some people go, "Oh my God, you're making waffle fries." I was like, sure. That's what it was supposed to be.
I didn't see that. Those are pretty big waffle fries, if that's the case.
Yeah. So they're supposed to look like baskets. So the handles are from, I don't know, Garden Hoe or something. The fish traps make the little net piece. The glowy, orangey on fire stuff is it's a brazier of some sort. And then there's two light effects that make that glowy like moving orangey stuff, you know what I mean? And then that didn't all look right, so at the very end I added a glass block at the top to try to look like the top of oil, and that sort of fixed the entire thing.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
a glass
brilliant.
block.
And then these knobs are the bottom of some vases or something, right?
They are the unlit gold braziers. Those are your best friends ever when you're putting together a kitchen. They're fantastic.
And you even have a little sink with a little dish dryer. I mean, it's adorable back here. I love it.
God. I really have to come back. This was the second dimension that I ever built. So there's a lot of mistakes in here. So don't look too closely.
Yeah, I can tell. There's so many mistakes.